What's up guys, Shane Starnes here with Droid Modder X. The Honor 5X has been one of my favorite budget devices, but the Emotion UI seems to be a bit laggy. Even with the inherent lag of the Emotion UI, can the Honor 5X still beat out the OnePlus X? Today we're going to put it through a speed test to see which phone will come out on top. Let's go ahead and get started. Alright guys, we got the OnePlus X on the left, the Honor 5X on the right. We'll start things off by just doing some simple stock applications. Both phones should be able to get through these pretty quickly and easily. As you guys can see, it's pretty much neck and neck until we get to the camera. Once we get past the camera, this is where the OnePlus X begins to shine. The OnePlus X just continues to chew through apps without regard, while the 5X starts to really slow down quite a bit. This is where you can see the difference between 3 GB of RAM and 2 GB of RAM. The OnePlus X has more RAM, and because of that, it's able to really get through those applications a whole lot quicker. As you can see, the Honor 5X took about 30 seconds, well, probably about 20 to 30 seconds just to load Facebook. Twitter was slow, and now you guys can see that Crossy Road is really slow as well. The OnePlus X is already done with its first lap. It's on to the second lap, where it is just off to the races on the OnePlus X. The OnePlus X seems to be doing an incredible job with multitasking. As you can see, it's not having to reload any of the applications from scratch. All the applications pick up where they left off, and the OnePlus X is finished with the entire speed test at 1 minute 4 seconds. Meanwhile, the 5X is just now getting around to the second lap. Multitasking seems to be going smoothly, but as you get further down the list of applications, you can see things begin to bog down, and you're really beginning to see the difference between 2 GB of RAM on the 5X and 3 GB of RAM on the OnePlus X, plus just the way that the 5X deals with multitasking. You're seeing that it's having to reload applications from scratch. They're not just sitting there in the background waiting, well, partially because there's not enough RAM to do so. As you can see, we're still struggling to reload Crossy Road on the OnePlus X. It was already loaded, ready to go, and then as soon as this loads, we're just going to have to reload YouTube once again. As you can see, having to reload every application from scratch. And then we finish at 1 minute and 59 seconds, almost double the time it took for the OnePlus X. Alright guys, next up we're going to run a Geekbench benchmark on both the phones to see how they stack up against one another. Now to be fair, the Honor 5X comes out of the box with a battery optimized setting enabled. I went in there before doing the speed test and turned that to normal performance mode, so that battery optimization should not have slowed the phone down at all since it was in normal mode. That being said, the Honor 5X is running a Snapdragon 615 quad-core processor clocked at 1.5 gigahertz, while the OnePlus X over here on the left is running a Snapdragon 801 quad-core processor clocked at 2.2 gigahertz. The OnePlus X has 3 GB of RAM. The Honor 5X only has 2 GB of RAM. You guys saw in the speed test, the more applications that we opened up on the Honor 5X, the slower things got. So by the time we got around to Facebook, it just seemed to take forever to load up Facebook, and then it didn't have enough RAM to hold those applications open in the background, so multitasking was kind of a drag on the Honor 5X. You're generally not going to be throwing 20 applications at a phone at once. Normally you're going to open an application, close the application, come back to it later. And as you guys saw, the first applications that the Honor 5X loaded, they loaded up very quick, but still the time difference was so huge. The 5X is definitely the slower of the two phones when it comes to speed and performance. If you're looking for an awesome design of a phone and you're looking for extra awesome features, the Honor 5X is really the phone to go with. It has that full metal body, and it has that programmable fingerprint scanner, and it even has a decent camera. The OnePlus X, on the other hand, is lacking tons of features. It has no NFC, it has no fingerprint scanner. It has a decent design, but it's reminiscent of like the iPhone 4 design, so I actually prefer the Honor 5X design. The OnePlus X is awesome when it comes to speed and performance. As you guys saw, it outperforms the Honor 5X, but it lacks kind of everything else. It kind of cuts a lot of corners to get to that $250 price, where the Honor 5X cuts a whole lot less corners to get to a $200 price. As you guys can see, it's just now finishing. It actually does better at multi-core processing, and I've noticed playing games on the Honor 5X, there's no lag or hiccups at all when playing games. And so on the really super heavy intensive stuff, it seems to switch over to that multi-core processing and processes things just fine. Single core processing, you know, just launching applications, scrolling through a feed, it seems to do a whole lot worse than the OnePlus X. Anyhow, guys, that about wraps it up for this speed and performance comparison between the OnePlus X and the Honor 5X. I'll be sure to include links in the description where you can grab each of these phones. The OnePlus X no longer has to have a wait term for it, so there's no more invite system on the OnePlus X, which is pretty awesome. Honor 5X is $200 all day, every day, and it has now been released worldwide, so that's pretty cool too. Right, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you had, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe to this channel for more content like this in the future. You can find more of me at droidmodderx.com, droidforums.net, news.howandandroid.com. Thanks, guys, for watching. Be blessed. I'll see you in the next one.